You are on tape number 9. Keep this with your stuff so that when your ancestors find it 200 years from now, they can go to the Portsmouth Public Library. Let me log in here. Your birth date. Okay, Isaac. Okay, Isaac, you told me your name is John Carl Isaac McHenry and your birth date is June the 24th, 1976, right?
Right.
And since I'm your father, I know a lot of this information already, so I can tell the people watching this 100 years from now that I'm your father. My name is John Keith McHenry, and your mother's name is Phyllis Jean McHenry. Your mother's parents' names were Arland Rogers, and her mother's name was Harriet Rogers, and her maiden name was Ewell, E-W-E-L-L. And my parents' names were Ruth Vivian Williams McHenry Young. And my father's name was Carl Edward McHenry. And his parents' names were Zelma McHenry, maiden name Pollard, and his father's name was Edward McHenry. And my mother's names, which would be my mother, of course, is your grandmother, and then her parents' names, which would be your great-grandparents. Her mother's name was Florence Ruth Williams. Her maiden name was Porter, and her father's name was William Williams. And his middle name, in fact, was Albert. Now, at this point, employed?
No, I'm not.
Are you?
I'm a student.
Is that correct?
Right, in Athens.
Do you have a major now?
No, undecided.
Okay. And how many, well, that would say you are a freshman there. At
Right.
this point, you're a freshman in college. Okay. And when did you go into the service?
November 6th, 1996.
Okay. And that was the Army, wasn't it?
Right.
Okay. Here's our cat, who wants to be videotaped with us. And when were you discharged from active duty?
April 1st, 1999.
What was your rank when you were discharged?
I was a specialist, E4.
E4. What is your MOS? What was your MOS?
I was in field artillery, just 13 Mike. I worked with a system called Multiple Launch Rocket Systems.
Okay, good. And are you presently in the National Guard or something?
I'm in the National Guard now.
Okay, and where is your unit located?
In McConnellsville, Ohio.
Okay, what kind of unit is it?
It's an air defense.
Okay. And do you have the same MOS?
No, I have a
still?
different MOS.
Yeah, okay. Are you going to have to take some training for that? Or?
Probably going to have to go to AIT sometime, but it's undecided now.
Okay. Where did you do your basic training?
I did my basic training at Fort Knox, and did my AIT at Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Okay, and Fort Knox is in Kentucky.
Okay.
Now, after your AIT, where did you go?
My first duty station, I went to Korea, and I was in Korea for a year.
Okay. And where were you in Korea?
In Camp Stanley.
Okay. Is there anything you want to say about Korea? Did you like Korea?
I liked Korea a lot.
Did you?
Really
Did you have fun there and all that?
I had a lot of fun there.
Okay. Now, after Korea, what happened then?
I went to Fort Bragg. I was at Fort Bragg for 3 months. I really didn't care much for Fort Bragg.
Okay.
So I volunteered to go to Kuwait. There was a battery going to Kuwait.
A battery is like a unit of...
Right. It's like a division of a battery. Or a division of a...
It's a company size or something.
Company
Okay.
size,
Okay.
120 people.
Okay, good. That's what you need to know. And that's a battery of your MLRS?
Right.
Now, that's the rocket launcher, right?
Correct.
Did you go to Kuwait, in fact?
Right, I volunteered to go to Kuwait, and they switched me to a different battery. I was in Alpha battery. I was in Kuwait for about 6.5 months.
Okay, good. And during that period of time, did you like Kuwait?
I really didn't like Kuwait at all.
Too hot, or what was the deal?
It was hot. A lot of work.
It's hot.
Hard.
Not near as good as Korea. And now, after Kuwait, what did you do?
Right after Kuwait, I came back to Fort Bragg, and I was at Fort Bragg for about 2 weeks before I got out of the Army.
Mm-hmm. And during that period of time you joined with the National Guard.
Right.
Now, do you have any? You have the usual ribbons that come with going overseas and doing
Right, I have 2 overseas ribbons. I have an Armed Forces Expeditionary ribbon. I have a National Guard ribbon. I don't even know what it's called.
Okay.
Then I have the Army Service ribbon, and I have Army Accommodation medal.
Okay. Did you like the Army?
The Army was all right.
Okay. Do you feel it changed you in any way?
Yeah, I feel it made me more responsible.
Okay.
Helped me get my act together.
Okay. Now, is there anything you'd like to say to the people watching this about 100 years from now? You got any tattoos you want to talk about?
Not really.
Okay.
Well, I do have this cool tattoo on my leg.
All right. Good deal. Right there. We might say here to the people watching this 100 years from now, this is our home, and this is our cat, and it's about it's Christmas time, isn't it? It's Christmas. It's December 23rd. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Or?
I can't think of anything really.
Okay. And if you do, let me know. We'll get that on tape later. Okay. You didn't want to do this, did you?
Not really.
Thanks, son. I appreciate it. All right. Don't forget hey, keep this with your stuff now. 100 years from now, people want that.